Welcome, medical students, residents, and physicians, to the first ever Business in Medicine podcast. We're very excited to have you join us today for this exciting initiative. I'm your co-host, Adrian Kuchtaruk.
And I'm your other co-host, Brandon Loshusan.
And we're both second-year medical students at the Schulich School of Medicine in London, Ontario. In this short episode, we want to give you a brief overview of what this podcast is all about, why we started it, and what you can expect to see in future episodes. So Brandon, if I were to give you a 30-second elevator pitch about what this podcast is, how would you describe it?
Essentially, this podcast will explore the intersection between business and healthcare. We're planning to have guests who are considered leaders and have spearheaded health innovation initiatives through their business. In addition to this, we'll have speakers on here that will educate medical students and new physicians about personal finance and wealth management. We want to provide our listeners with valuable information in an easily digestible format.
Honestly, going into med school, I didn't have a thorough understanding of how business and medicine intertwined. I thought that physicians did research, did their clinical work, and that was pretty well it. And people that went to business school went into healthcare management and device and startup innovation, and there wasn't that much overlap. But after going through our first year of medical school, I was able to get a better understanding of how much of an impact business has on healthcare and how it will truly affect us all as future physicians. I learned about physicians that were spearheading startup companies with 10 different product patents and in leadership and management roles.
Not only that, but we also found that there was a lack of information about personal finance topics and getting started as a physician, such as deciding whether to incorporate or not, paying off student loans, investment options, as well as many others.
And with that being said, Brandon, how about you tell our listeners about what they can expect to learn from this podcast?
You can all expect to learn more about topics such as personal finance throughout medical school and the best time to incorporate as a new physician. You'll hear stories from physicians that have invented medical devices and started their own companies. We'll have topics ranging from healthcare product innovation to growing a healthcare business in our fast-paced world.
We're very excited to be able to deliver a podcast that we believe will be a valuable source of information for all medical students, residents, and early career physicians. To stay up to date with new podcasts, follow us on Facebook at Business in Medicine Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast on any of the major podcast streaming platforms. If you have knowledge and experience in a topic related to business and medicine and are interested in being on our podcast, or if you have ideas for future podcast episodes, please email us at businessinmedicinepodcast@gmail.com. I'm your co-host, Adrian Kuchtaruk.
And I'm Brandon Loshusan.
And we'll see you next time on the Business in Medicine Podcast. Take care.